All right, Hike. I keep hearing all this talk about optimizing your life.
Yeah.
And I personally think it's bullshit. The people who just always count their calories, they always have a strict regimen, a schedule. Just they optimize everything. They track every step they got during the day. Just very robotic, bullshit way of living. In my opinion, it's depressing. What do you think about that?
It is extremely, extremely depressing. I cannot imagine any sort of man that has aura, that's lived a good life, living in that kind of way. Like your most valuable asset that you have right now is your mental energy. And if you have to every single time you eat three times a day, every single time, put that much effort into optimizing, making sure you're getting your calories, hitting your protein, taking out a scale. I've been in a position where, in my life, I wanted to get fit. I went through that phase and it taught me everything I needed to know. And there's no longer any need to expend that much effort into taking out a scale and tracking my fucking calories like a dork. I'm not going to do that shit. That's not conducive to living a healthy, quality life. If you're tracking, optimizing everything. So you're going to optimize and track your food. And on top of that, you got to wear your Apple Watch. Make sure you get 4 hours of deep REM sleep, whatever
That
the
is
fuck.
so wrong. I can't even imagine tracking your sleep and this. Listen, I don't have a problem if you're starting, right? Let's say you're chubby and you want to lose weight and you start. Yes. If you're starting something, you have to be very, very calculated and you have to learn. You have to learn how food works, learn how calories work. But I think after that initial phase of maybe 6 months you're doing it, you lose the weight, it becomes a sickness. Like I see a lot of these gym bros, it's like they're sick in the head, right? They can't go out to a restaurant and just cheat one day. They can't go on a date and just, have a cup of whiskey, something. They optimize everything. Their whole life is rigid. It's weird.
There's
It,
a way to get it done without being such a nerd about it. Look, okay, let's say there's all this
I think there's
stuff
a
you have to.
word for it. It's called Euromaxing.
It's called Euromaxing. I actually learned this the first time I went to Europe. I went to Italy for a 4 month vacation after my business made a 30 grand month and shit was going amazing. So I went to Italy for 4 months. I learned a lot of things from the Euros, from the Italians. If you have all the shit you need to get done in the day, I got to get my 20,000 steps. I got to eat exactly 2,200 calories and I got to get this much sleep. You can still, most of the time, be within the parameters of where you need to be by not being so optimized about it. If you're just, there's a Italian phrase, like I just cannot remember it, unfortunately, but it's basically the word for having aimless walks. When you have an aimless walk, you're eating a gelato, you're seeing the beautiful architecture in Europe. That's the way I get my steps in. I don't track, I don't wear the Apple Watch. I got 8,532 steps. I need this much
I call
more.
it something. What do I call it?
What?
Free steps.
Free steps.
Like, for example, right? Instead of tracking everything, if we're at the mall, just, take a couple loops around. You're already there. You're already going to sit down or be there, right? So you get some free steps. Like, if you're going to the gym and there's like a big elevator, right? And there's also steps there, you just take the stairs. It just, you get it throughout your day. You don't sit down and walk at home and do all this geeky shit or, I'm going to go on the treadmill today. No, while I'm living, I'm going to get my steps in. Free steps.
It's honestly absurd. Like, summer is about like a month and a half or 2 months down the line, right?
Yeah, it is.
And since that's the case, Dawn and I usually get a little bit lean in the summer, have the six pack thing going on,
And I
right?
still eat my chocolate croissants.
This time, I've been like cutting weight for about, a month. I'm not like, I never even measure myself on a scale one time. I'm not measuring my food, but when I look in the mirror, yeah, my six packs are starting to appear. Why is it that I can achieve the result without being so obsessed about it? If you're that obsessed about it, you're going to be so tired by the end of the day. I have to measure all this food 3 times for all 3 meals. I have to make my meals 3 times, wash the dishes.
It's all
Then
this
I got to get
self-help shit.
steps.
This self-help bullshit. You know what's funny? Everyone that gets into like self-improvement wants to improve their life, but they actually make it worse and boring.
You're reducing the quality of your life. You're literally reducing the quality of your life. And if I had to do, honestly, all those things in a day, how am I going to have time to work on my business, talk to bitches, and do shit if I'm only focused on optimizing all these vanity metrics? I don't know how much I weigh. Why do I need to know how much I weigh? Do I have the six packs or not? Am I too fat or not? It's a mirror. I just
And
look
it's
at the
not
mirror.
enjoyable. It's not an enjoyable way of living.
It's not an
If you
enjoyable way
really
of
think
living.
about it, like, okay, I have to eat like this, only egg whites, and it's just you wake up, you know what you're going to eat every single day. It's just so weird. It's not fun. I think there's a beauty in waking up, being like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to eat today. I'm going to do this. Just doing shit, like living life day by day, enjoying. And sometimes the beauty of life is waking up and not knowing what your day holds. That's beautiful. Isn't that freedom? Isn't that the dream life that everyone's wanted? But this whole self-improvement shit literally makes your life like a jail.
You know, I hear a lot of people online these days complaining about that when you get older, life just seems to move faster. Time just seems to move faster. And that's really not the case. I've analyzed this in my own life. And if there are periods where every day just melds into another, every day just feels the same, you're stuck in the same routine. I go to the gym at this time, I eat this breakfast, I do X, Y, Z, and you know exactly how your day's gonna go. And that happens for months on end. That's when time moves the fastest. It's like days become hours. But every single time I live life in an unpredictable way, if I'm just bouncing country to country, doing unpredictable shit, I make plans, I explore new places, I eat new food, I do different shit, I meet new people. That's when that childlike joy comes back into my life, and life just feels like it's moving slow.
You know that weird guy, I think his name is Brian Johnson, who just tries to optimize everything? How miserable is that?
He is
Weirdo.
look, besides the fact that he's some optimizer, right? He's being outperformed by an Italian grandpa on the Italian Riviera that smokes fucking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, eats pizza, 105% carb diet. But besides that fact, I think he just, in my opinion, he's a weirdo.
He's a
He
weirdo.
talks about having sex with his wife on the internet. He has no
Giving
self-respect.
oral sex. Weird shit, man.
He's a
shit.
weird. He's a weird
You
chap.
know, I just feel like people are more depressed and anxious too these days because they're into this self-improvement, optimizing their life. Like, it is not normal, right? Imagine 300 years ago or even 100 years ago, some guy talking about, I didn't get enough REM sleep today, bro. Like, bro, some days you're just not going to get good sleep. Some days you are. Like, imagine, oh, I can't go out and drink today, bro, because of this, and that. It just, bro, wake up and live. Yeah, some days you're not going to get enough sleep. Some days you're going to oversleep. This is life. This is life. Imagine just talking about your REM sleep every day. Every day you track it. You get anxious about it. Your mind starts thinking in a very weird way, and your sleep is actually going to get worse because every day you wake up, you're like, oh, I didn't get enough REM sleep. I didn't get enough REM sleep. It's going to be in your subconscious mind at that point, and you're going to wake up at night, and you're not going to have a good sleep because you're programming yourself to be a dumbass.
Yeah, I just don't know how people can live in this way. Just it's not conducive to living a quality life. The way you get, aura is by actually living a quality life. If you look at the most magnetic people in the world, they just have this air of experience and they have this charm that you're not going to get if you live such a rigid life.
And there's a balance, bro. It's not like we're just completely raw dogging everything, right?
No, of course not.
We have systems. Like, for example, I know when I want to lose weight, right? I know what I like having for breakfast. Probably like 3 eggs. It can be in a different way. It can be an omelet. It could just be in a certain way, sunny side up, whatever. I like to have toast, jam, the Euro style. We call it the gentleman's diet, right? Like, you just have a nice little toast, jam on it, eggs, maybe an omelet, French omelet, Western omelet, some shit like that. And, we know that for lunch, right, if we're trying to cut weight, maybe have a nice chocolate croissant, a little bit of protein next to it, and then you have a nice big dinner, pasta with meat, or whatever the fuck. This is the thing. It's not like we just don't know what we're doing. And then some days, I'm not going to get enough protein. I might just, gorge on some pizza.
Is it really a big deal, right? If on one particular day I had 40 or 50 calories less or more than I should have had, or I had 20 grams of protein less or more than I should have had, like, how mentally exhausting would it be if I had to track every single thing I put into my body? You know what that is? That's a fucking eating disorder. You have
Sickness.
An eating disorder. That's what you have. You've been trained by the fitness community to buy all these powders, have an eating disorder. You're just consuming whatever they tell you. Do you ever sit down and question it for once? Because I used to listen to these people. They say, oh, eat a gram per pound of body weight. Of protein.
Unnecessary.
You have to eat 1 gram protein per pound of body weight.
And I'm more ripped than people who do TRT, bro.
100%. And I tried it, right? And genuinely, I felt like shit. My stomach hurt all the time.
Protein farts, baby.
Protein farts. I stopped doing it. I had less protein, and now I feel better. And I'm still alive, unlike the people that gave me the advice because they died of a clogged arteries and a heart attack from blasting TRT and steroids. I know what's better for me than anyone else. How do I feel? If you take someone's advice, right, you must observe the outcome you get from that advice. If you do something in a particular way because someone told you to do it, are you actually analyzing the outcome, or are you just blindly following it?
And I don't think people realize this applies to everything. This applies to your business. This applies to your dating life.
100%.
Just 24/7 going on a million dates is not good. Only going on monk mode in your business, not going out, isolating yourself, and only working on your business is not good. This is all gay shit.
So I have a question to ask the viewers of this episode, right? If you're some kind of optimizer guy and you're tracking every morsel of food you put into your body, and you're tracking your sleep, you're getting this many steps, you're on monk mode optimizing, I gotta make this much money, I have a question for you. Do you feel fulfilled? Or do you feel genuinely stressed out and you feel like you're burned out because you're using every ounce of your being to track and optimize everything? Do you feel that this is the best way to live your life, or are you doing it because you've been told that that's what you have to do? That's the biggest question you have to ask yourself right now.
It's a scam, bro. It's all a scam. You can have systems in your life, know the general rules for yourself, like how you and I have with our diets, with how much we work. And then you also need to live a bit. Take it day by day. Enjoy your life. Go out, talk to some girls, approach a girl, work on your business for 4 hours and then go out. You don't need to sit down at home all day, go on monk mode on your laptop for 8 hours, because at a certain point, there's not much you can do. There's only so much work you can do that's going to get you further in the day. You just need to do the right work and do what you can.
Genuinely, right? There are some people that brag about working 16 hours a day or 12 hours a day, which, to be honest, I don't believe them. But genuinely, coming from a person who's made a lot of money online, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in a year online, right? And there's not much more than you can do beyond 4 hours of true focus, deep work a day.
Circle jerk.
There's beyond 4 hours, you're not moving your business forward that much. It's all diminishing returns. It's diminishing returns. I'll give you an example to try to implant this concept into your mind, right? Is that, let's say you buy a suit jacket, right? For, I don't know, $500, right? It's going to be like an okay suit jacket, right? If you spend $2,000, you're going to see a big difference between the $500 one and the $2,000 one. But if you start spending 10 grand for a suit jacket, you're not going to see that much of a difference between the $2,000 one and the $10,000 one. But there's a huge difference between the $500 one and the $2,000 one. So if you're lazy, not working at all, and you're working like 1 hour a day, you're just getting the work done just to get it done, and you start working 4 hours a day of deep focused work, you're going to see huge improvement in your life. Huge, huge improvement. But if you start working 12 hours a day instead of 4 of focused work, which is not focused at that point, you're not going to see that much of a difference. Same goes for your tracking your food. If you start being conscious of how much food you're eating, of course you're going to lose weight. But if it gets to a point where it's the eating disorder,
sickness,
then it's diminishing returns. It's not going to help you.
And I think, we're saying all this because we've been through it. I've been the guy that went to gym 24/7. I've been the guy that did monk mode and didn't go out and didn't talk to girls. I've been the guy that's done all of this. And it's all bullshit. I'm telling you. You have to have all your baskets full and have a completely fulfilled life. Like the ideal day, you wake up, right? Enjoy your morning for an hour. Don't do some crazy work. Wake up, enjoy your morning, have your coffee, right? Don't scroll 24/7. You can check your phone, it's fine. And then after that, go hit the gym. You don't have to go hit 4 sets, everything, just 2-3 hours in the gym, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. Then you come back home, you do a little bit of work, shower, and then you can go out. You can go talk to girls, live your life, hang out with your friends, smoke a cigar. This is how you actually have good aura on you. And trust me, when you're doing this, you're going to feel better. You're going to make more money. Your life is just going to be better. I bet you if you go talk to a very hot girl, you go on a date with her, your energy is going to be better. Your business will do better. You're going to work better. That person, right, that goes out on a date with a beautiful girl, enjoys his life. Maybe you cheat a little bit, have a nice glass of whiskey, have a cigar, have a pizza, right?
I think you meant cheating on a bitch.
Maybe that too. But you do that. I bet you that person the next day is going to work better than the guy that just been locked in 12 hours in a room all day just working. The guy that actually went to gym, went out with a girl, did 4 hours of good work, he's going to get further in life. He's going to get further in business. He's going to be happier. more than the optimized guy. His sleep is going to be better than the guy that's tracking his sleep 24/7.
Look, I've said this many times. I'm probably a fucking broken record at this point, but you have to operate like the best version of yourself would operate at all times. Like if you're doing all this optimization to become the best version of yourself, that's not how it works. You will never become the best version of yourself. You have to start doing what the best version of yourself would do right now. He wouldn't spend 6 hours in the gym. He would spend an hour at the gym, make sure it's a very focused session. He would get the workout done within an hour, and he would also make sure he's eating good food throughout the day, not a bunch of garbage. Of course he would do that. He would also make sure he talks to every cute girl he sees outside, that someone he finds attractive. He would do all these things.
He wouldn't be a scared bitch.
Wouldn't be a scared bitch. He also wouldn't do a lot of things you're probably doing right now in order to become that guy. You're never going to become that guy doing all these bullshit circle jerk, diminishing returns activities.
I think the main point that you mentioned is people are so focused on optimizing their life, doing self-improvement to become somebody that they're not yet.
You become that somebody by walking the walk and talking the talk.
100% is exactly what you said. Do what the end final product, the final version of you would do. Do it now, rather than trying to improve to become that person. If you think in 10 years, right, or in 5 years, you want to be some multimillionaire with a hot girl with a ripped physique, and you want to do the actions to get there, and you keep trying to self-improve, and you feel like you're never good enough to go talk to that girl. You feel like you're never good enough to do anything. You feel like to get the business, you have to sit down and work 10-hour days every single day of your life. You're not going to become that person.
You're not going to become that person.
You have to do the actions that person would actually take.
Exactly. And you may think that you'll become that person by focusing on your business until you become that millionaire. And then when you become the millionaire, you're going to hire a personal trainer and a dietitian, and the girls are going to come to you because they see your Ferrari. That's not how it works. You will never become that guy. You're going to be a Bill Gates. You're going to be like Bill Gates. You have the money, but you never worked on these other areas because you're optimizing for becoming a millionaire. And when you think you become the millionaire, all these other things are going to happen by themselves. Nothing happens by accident. Everything in your life is intentional.
You know, you have to live that first-person lifestyle, as we always talk about. Stop always watching other people, which is what these optimizers do. They watch Huberman, Chris Williams, and whatever. Live the first-person lifestyle. Live through your lens. Stop watching all these people, what they're doing, what they're telling you to do. First person. It's like Call of Duty, right? You know, compared to GTA. In GTA, you're watching someone. That's what most people are doing, and they're taking their stupid advice. You have to be in your game. You live through your lens. First-person lifestyle. And one other thing I want to say is, you mentioned going to Italy, right? And you started seeing how these Italians live. Sometimes they're too lazy. And then Americans, they work too hard. And they work on bullshit too, things that aren't going to get them far in life. You have to work like a damn American and enjoy your life like an Italian.
100%.
Wouldn't you say so?
100%. Or work like a Mexican.
That too.
They work very hard. They're hard workers.
Hard workers, yeah. But yeah, and I think truly this is the right way of living. I think any other way is bullshit, and it's just all propaganda. It's all a psyop to keep you miserable.
Amen.